everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. It's something that pretty much every booktuber does every year about this time of the year. It's just fun. It's kind of a way to see what our favorites or not favorites are, and things like that. Kind of a little checklist of sorts, I guess. And I was going to add like a check-in for some of my goals, but I think I'm going to do that in a separate video because I don't want to make this one too long. That way, you know, at least I have another video coming. And so with that, I'm just going to get into it. And so I will be looking over here so that I can read the prompts because I would not be able to remember. And so the first one is pretty easy. Well, I mean, not easy, but it's kind of, which was best book you've read this year. So I have 3 because, well, I just couldn't leave them out. And, well, probably the top one so far this year would have to be Years by Lavelle Spencer. And this really surprises me as well. And it is on it's on another prompt. But, yeah, I read this for my retro romance readathon that I did in February. I read it because Melissa from Libraries and Labradors really liked this book, and I was kind of curious, and I found it when I was out thrifting and thought, you know, I'm gonna give it a try. I really liked it. It has all the feels, and I will talk about it later on in other sections of this. But yeah, I really liked it. It's historical. It was a lot of fun. Then I just couldn't leave off Murder in Chelsea by Victoria Thompson. It was book 15 in the Gaslight series, and it was it's the pivotal shift in the series, which just made me so happy and excited to get to the next one, which I read almost right away. And that is why I'm really excited to continue on with this series. It has picked up for me and becoming like a really, really big high on the favorites list of my cozy mystery series. Even though sometimes I would say it's not quite cozy, but I do really enjoy it. And yeah, so I had to put that on here. And then I read a lot of middle grade, so I figured I should at least feature a middle grade on here. So I am going to feature Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library by Chris Gravenstein. It's the first time I'd ever read this series, and that's the first book. I'd heard about it. I didn't think I would like it quite as much as I did, but it was so much fun that I immediately got the second one, and I've read at least, I think, 4 books in that series. I think I'm on book 5. And so yeah, it was really a lot of fun. If you like middle grade, you should really check it out. And so the next one is the best sequel you've read this year. Do you know how hard that is? I read series. That's almost all that I read. Very few standalones. Most of my books are series because I read romances, I read middle grade, and I read mysteries. So yeah, that one was really hard. So I'm going to go with White Hot by Ilona Andrews. It's the second book in the Hidden Legacy series that I started this year. So I really enjoyed the first book in this series. Could have put it on my best books, but I thought 3 was enough. So I thought I would just go ahead and feature the sequel here for the best sequels. I went through and just looked at all my book 2s so that I could have a real just sequel on here, because yeah, I could have picked so many different books for this, and I just went with the actual sequels, which was book 2. And so yes, I really, really liked it. And then the next one is new releases you haven't read yet, but you want to. Really? Okay, so I have a few e-arcs that I need to get to. And so I picked 2 out that I really keep telling myself I'm going to read, and for some reason I just haven't got to them yet. That would be Skandar and the Unicorn Thief by A.F. Stedman. It's a middle grade like fantasy adventure, and it looks really cute. I love the cover, and I just really need to get to it. Another one is Hideout by Louisa Luna. I really loved book 1 and 2. This is the third book in the Alice Vegas series, and for some reason I keep putting it off. I think a part of me is afraid it's not going to be as good as the first two. I have heard a few things that it wasn't quite as up to being as good as the other ones, and so I think I'm a little leery of it, but I need to just need to read it. So I'm going to get to these before the end of the year. I swear I am. We'll see by the time the end of the year does if I get to them, but I am going to. Then the next one is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So I have 2 of those as well, because it's one is from one of my favorite series, which is The Secret of Bowl Lane by Jennifer Ashley, and it is the 6th book in the Cat Holloway series. I love this historical mystery series. It is a lot of fun. It's about Cat Holloway, who is a cook in downstairs. It's a downstairs upstairs situation, and she is downstairs cook, and she solves mysteries. And there is a man, Daniel, that is kind of a love interest, and it's really been slow burn on anything, and you're never really quite sure exactly what he does for a living through most. We finally starting to figure out what he does, but it's been like kind of secret for a long time, so I'm really glad to be getting into that. And he's just one of my favorite characters too. I love both Cat and Daniel, so yeah, I really can't wait to get to that one. And then another one is Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Amanda Flowers. I love Amanda Flowers' cozy mysteries, but this isn't a cozy mystery. I don't think. And it's definitely not like her other ones, like the Amish Candy Shop series, the Amish Matchmaker series, things like that that are really fun and light. This is a historical, so I think it's a historical mystery, but I think, if I'm right, I believe it features Emily Dickinson, which is kind of different. But yeah, I mean, you look at the cover, and it's got a whole different tone to any of her like cozy mysteries. So I'm really excited to try something different from her, to see how if she can pull it off, I guess. And so the next one is Biggest Surprise. Okay, well, we're going to have to put this one back on here because this was a really big surprise. I went into this thinking that I probably wasn't going to like it that much. It's like over 500, is it? Almost 500 pages, so I mean, it was pretty chunky. And it was there's a big gap in the age. She's really young. He's like, I think she's like 18 or something like that. And he is mid-30s or something like that. It's very historical, and it's not even the historicals that I like, because I like Regencies, Victorian, things like that kind of historical romances. And this one is set in Iowa? No, North Dakota. I knew it was somewhere up that way. So it's set in North Dakota, so I was like, I don't know, but I really liked it, so it surprised me. Another surprise I'm going to put out here is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. I was surprised at how much I actually did enjoy this, since I could not stand Scarlet through the whole thing. Yeah, you do feel a little bit bad for her at the end, but not bad enough to redeem her in any sort of way. She is a horrible character, and she kind of deserved what she got at the end. And so I couldn't really feel sorry for her. Rhett Butler is my favorite character. He saved this whole book, I'm pretty sure. Him and Mamie and some of the other side characters, like I think her name was Melissa or Melody. I can't even remember now. I know it starts with an M. But yeah, there's some characters in here that save it. But Scarlet, who's the main character, is not one of them. But I like the historical aspects of it. It's the Civil War. I don't read a lot of Civil War type historical fiction-y type things, and I don't even think you can consider this like even a romance, though I think some people do, but it's more like a historical fiction type saga of sorts. But I mean, it's a thick one, and it took me 2 months to read, but it's over 1,000 pages. So I'm really proud of myself and surprised with myself that I stuck with it and I finished it, and that I actually liked it, because I didn't think I was gonna like it. I've seen the movie a long time ago, and I knew how it ended, and I didn't think I would like it. But I think reading through it and seeing how it progressed made me enjoy it more than I did when I watched the movie. And I kind of knew how it was going to end, so that helped. And so, biggest disappointment. Okay, now, my biggest disappointment isn't a bad book. And I didn't give it a bad rating. I still rated it 4 stars. Why it's on the disappointed list is because this series used to be always on my best books of the year list. And it has fallen. So I'm very disappointed. And so that is An Impossible Imposter by Deanna Raybourn. It's the 7th book in the Veronica Speedwell series. And I just didn't like it as much as I normally do. I gave it 4 stars because of how some of it was towards the end. But the ending ticked me off. So the author better fix that. That's all I have to say. She better fix it with the next one, or I'm going to be really, really upset. But I love Veronica. I love Stoker. I love the banter between them. Just wasn't as much of that in this. And it was really slow. Like, it didn't start picking up until after, like, halfway. And it was a struggle. It was a very big struggle. And even though I still gave it 4 stars, it's a big disappointment because I knew this new one was going to be on my best books, and it's not. So, it's kind of a bummer. So the next one is favorite new author. Okay. So it's kind of hard. I thought about it, and I do believe that since I've read a ton of his books this year, that he deserves to be favorite new author. So Stuart Gibbs. I have read almost all of his books now. This year alone, I'm caught up on the Spy School series. This is the newest book that comes out in September, and probably my favorite book of the series. This is number 10. I have read the 3 books in his Charlie Thorne series. I have read 5 books in the Fun Jungle series. I've read the first book in Moon Alpha base series and the first book in The Last Musketeer. And so, yeah, I've read a lot of his books this year. So, yeah, favorite. Also, she has potential to be favorite for this year. I have read 2 of her books. I gave this one 5 stars. I gave Morning Glory 4 stars. I really, really like them. I'm planning on reading another one during my Retro Romance Readathon Summer Vacation Readathon. So, yeah, I'm hoping that one's going to be up there too. I wanted to give one more book of hers a try before I say favorite. So, we'll see whenever I read another one. But I'm pretty sure that she's got the potential to be a favorite. And then, let's see, newest fictional crush. I haven't read a lot of books that I've had like a fictional crush on this year. But I'm going to go with Mad Rogan from the Hidden Legacy series by Ilona Andrews. He's just so broody, and just, you can tell, like, strong, like, the way he's described, the guy on the cover just doesn't even live up to the potential. There's just no describing him, but he seems like he's so protective, and he's got a soft spot even though he's so protective, and I really like him. He's a fun character, and so I'm going to go with Matt Rubin. And then, book that made you cry. I never have a book for this. Never. But this year I've been ruined by this book. That's why I said it's going to be on this list a lot, because this one made me cry. It ripped my heart. It made me cry. Bad book. I don't like crying. Okay. And so, book that made me happy. So, I'm going to go with The Primrose Path by Barbara Metzger. This book made me laugh so much. It is a Regency romance. It's from 1997. If you love dogs and you love historical romances, you gotta try it. It was great. I loved it. So much fun. I laughed. It made me chuckle. All the incidents with the dogs, it was just great. I read this one earlier in February for my retro romance readathon, and it was so fun. So yeah, made me laugh, made me happy. Love it. Okay, so most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. So I bought a lot of books, but they're like used books, and I don't really know if I have like a beautiful book in those. A lot of them have been romance books that you've seen some of my hauls, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go with one that I got for review because it is really pretty. And so I'm going to go with Spineless by Samantha San Miguel. This is a middle grade book, and it was a lot of fun. And the cover is so pretty. I just love the contrasting colors, and it works. It's bright, and it's pretty. And then, so what books do you need to read by the end of the year? You're killing me. This question kills me all the time. It does. So I would say all of my e-arcs that I need to read, a lot of my retro romances that I have gathered and have not read and have no space for that are sitting on my floor. But I'm going to pick two of my e-arcs to at least mention here. And so one of those is Mystery in the Palace of Westminster by Sarah Lustig. And I don't remember anything about what it's about. I like the cover. And A Duke for Diana by Sabrina Jeffries, because I really like Sabrina Jeffries, and I can't believe I haven't got to this one yet. So I do need to get to this one, and I want to get to it. It's just like the other ones that I have, like new releases that I need to get to and things like that. There's so many. So many books and not enough time. So that is all of the questions for the mid-year book freak out tag. And I am freaking out because every time I look at the books that I still need to read, it makes me freak out a little bit. I can't believe it's already the end of June. Where did it go? Where has this year gone? Come back. I'm not ready. Anyway, have you read any of these books? Have I piqued your interest with any of these books? You know, let me know down in the comments. And if you have done this, let me know, and I'll go check out your video. If you don't have a YouTube channel and you want to do these, feel free to answer the questions in the comments. I think it's really fun to find out everybody's favorite books or the biggest disappointments and things like that. It's just fun. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.